this brings us into the Islam versus Christianity argument. And I want to make it very clear to the world that I am not anti-Christian in any way. Most of my family is Christian. My brother is Christian. For a long time when I
Tristan's Christian?
Yeah, he's Christian.
Cool. He's happy and he has fun.
Yeah, that's right. Perhaps that's why. When I first stopped being atheistic, I reverted or diverted to Christianity because it was all I knew. Because I was raised Christian. I went to church as a kid. It's all I knew. But you're talking about the fact that, yeah, people can come into the nation, but if they become Christians once they arrive, then the Christian faith survives.
Yeah.
But I think that for that to happen, there would have to be some form of power gap or power vacuum, and it's not atheists which are arriving, and it's going to be very difficult to convince them out of Islam into Christianity, and I'll tell you why. I am not an Islamic scholar, and I don't consider myself knowledgeable on Islam. I'm new to the religion. I'm only a year in, and I'm studying as best I can, but there's a lot of people who know more than me. But from my understanding and my practices, Islam is very rigid. And it's strict, and you know what's right and you know what's wrong. And it provides solutions and answers in a very strict, non-ambiguous way. And I feel like if you live a difficult life, like we talked about earlier about why my fan base is so galvanized and why they believe in me, because I offer rigid solutions to problems. And if you come from a difficult place or you raised in a difficult country or a war zone, you're gonna look for that rigidity. I don't think the softness of Christianity, and I don't say that as an insult, I just state that as a matter of fact, will be appealing to people who have come from war zones. I just don't, I think it's gonna be very difficult to convert them to Christianity. And we're seeing now in the Western world, huge proportions of Christian countries are now just becoming Islamic strongholds, and they can't be penetrated or changed.
And okay, so, but you're making it seem like a lot of people that that worship Islam, they're very, very strict with their policies. There's a lot that and by the way, let me speak positively about Islam so people don't confuse my nature.
We're friends here, by the way, everyone. We're on the same, yeah, I
don't agree. Speak for me. I'm just kidding. No.
Heathen.
No, I really respect Islam for one reason, the way they stand up for their God.
Absolutely.
And I actually take notes from them.
Yep.
So I don't want anybody, in fact, my God is their prophet.
Yep.
So we do see a lot of eye to eye. We just don't see the final destination of who God is.
Correct.
But I definitely respect anybody in their faith. And I think I'd rather you have faith in a God than you have no faith in God at all.
Agreed.
So we're on the same playing field. Yeah. Okay. But to say that Christians have values and they don't follow them, and Islam does, it's not true. I have many friends. For example, you're Islamic now, but you drink and you smoke.
No, I don't drink.
Not anymore. But there's a lot that I have friends with that do. Yeah. So the theory of them not following their rules that's just a man. I don't think that's a religion. I think every man falls short. Yeah. I think this is the truth. I think an Islamic man that stands in front of me sins against God. And I think a Christian man sins against God.
Oh yeah, we're not perfect in any regard.
Yeah.
But let's tie back to something I said earlier. We're not perfect in any regard. And it's all down to how you once again measure the success of a religion. We talked earlier about measuring the success of a business and life being about money. Numbers, right?
But why is numbers account when it comes to faith? I think it should be your faith.
That's it. It should be your faith. But faith is very intangible and hard to measure. So I'm just using my limited human brain. Mm-hmm. Let's just try and measure the success of a religion. Well, the fastest growing religion is Islam. It's not the biggest, it's the fastest growing.
Yeah.
I think if you were to look at the insanity of the West, I think Islam opposes it hardest in regards to the pure insanity that is being inflicted upon and bestowed upon children in the West. I think Islam
I want to say something, a compliment for them. What I do appreciate is that they don't let you cross bounds, right? So for example, when they were making a mockery of my Lord and Savior, I didn't see Christians trying to tear down these movies, and I didn't see Christians trying to, hey, that's not okay, or blah, 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 right? Islamic people were like, you're not talking about our prophet like that.
Correct.
So I find that very beautiful, and I understand that they hold their values.
But let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you not find that appealing?
Very.
Do you not find it appealing to be part of a religion where you get to stand up for what you really believe in and say, no, you can't say that. No, you won't do that. No, not to us.
Yeah. I think they have beautiful qualities that I should learn from.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I have to worship their God.
I mean, people often ask why I reverted to Islam, and I heard someone say something that you see life and you see other people as you see yourself. So if you're a thief, you think everyone's a thief. You're worried about everyone stealing from you because you would steal in their position. That's how you view the world.
That's how cheaters view.
That's how cheaters view the world. That's right. And then I was sitting thinking, well, maybe, and of course, this just came from my mind. I said, well, maybe you see a religion how you see yourself. Like, I see myself as somebody who is feared, nobody would want to mock. I see myself as somebody with strict standards and discipline. I see myself as somebody who stands up for what he believes in and doesn't care if he's assaulted and attacked for it. Maybe that's why it was so appealing to me. And then I'd sit and I'd study it and I'd read and I'd realize how close it actually is to Christianity. We believe in so many of the same things. And I don't want to get in trouble here because I am not an Islamic scholar in any way, but I've had even other people say to me, some Christians who I spoke to who started to read the Quran, they're like, it's just condensed. It's like stronger.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the appeal of it is to me. And I also like having hard yeses and nos. And I believe that if you have a religion where you just accept everything, then you believe in nothing. There has to be a line. In life, there has to be a line that you won't let someone cross. And with God, there should be the same. And my only concern with Christianity, and I argued this with my brother at length, is if God will really, truly forgive anything, then if he'll truly forgive you doing the most heinous acts you can possibly think of, and you repeatedly do them, and you won't learn your lesson, and you'll do them over and over again, and even Christians themselves won't ostracize you, is that too far? Is that too much freedom? Like you asked earlier.
I love this. So this is beautiful. It's actually in my notes. I was going to circle this with it. Let me just give me a second to make sure I word this properly.
Absolutely.
Let's circle to forgiveness.
Yeah.
How many times should you forgive a man?
Well, that's a really good question because we are sinners and we make endless mistakes.
And the prophet that you see as Jesus, do you know what he talks about forgiveness as?
Tell me.
Peter asks him, how many times should you forgive a man? And he says 7 times 77. And then he also describes the way judgment day comes. And he goes, you will be measured by the measurement that you gave others. So the way you looked at your brothers and sisters, that man wronged you, but you said, you're dead to me. Your debt, I don't even want it.
Yeah.
That's how you'll be measured. But here, let me circle back. Repentance isn't doing the same sin over and over and enjoying it and asking for forgiveness. That's why God doesn't judge your actions, like I said. He judges the reflection of your heart. Yeah. So if I sinned against you, there's 2 types of men. Andrew, dude, listen, I'm gonna please, Andrew, I messed up, dude. Like, I'm so sorry that I did this, dude. I didn't mean it. This is what happened. And you could see the stress in his eyes from him hurting you. Hey, Dad, I know you told me not to do this. And I was with my friends or, hey, Andrew, my bad, bro. Yeah, it won't happen again. This fucking guy.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Of course there
is.
You
can't hide your heart from God.
Absolutely.
So that's why I say only God could judge. And I remember what I was going to say about your God and my God, right? I believe that if there is a God out there, he wants you to come in the same direction that I'm going, and vice versa. So I think I never want to debate religion ever, because then I'm trying to disprove your God, and that might be holding your heart, and I don't want to do that.
I agree.
But what we could do is I say, I'll pray to my God, and you pray to your God to open up one of our eyes and hearts. And whoever is wrong or whoever is right will guide us with wisdom to the right direction.
I love that. And you know what? I kind of feel like when I'm talking to people of other religious faiths, and like I said, I have to be very careful. I'm not an Islamic scholar. And like you said, I don't want to ever insult Christians or insult other religious faiths. The only people I like to argue with correctly and properly are atheists, because they need to learn the light.
Yeah, I'll join.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I feel like if there's one God, let's imagine there's one sentence, and it's the most beautiful sentence that you can possibly think of that can be constructed with the most compendious and gorgeous language that can be put together. I feel like the different religions are perhaps different languages to say the same thing.
Yep.
And, you know, German sounds different to Russian, sounds different to English, but you can say it in different ways, but it all means the same thing. And I feel like that's the best way to look at it. And to a degree, the Quran also says the same thing. It says that we're a lot closer than we are apart. And I think when I meet somebody of another faith, I still feel happy for them, and I feel glad for them. It's only when I meet somebody who sits down and thinks they're a smart ass. Oh, no, we came from monkeys. I'm like, oh, bro, you need help. Those are the people I argue with.
Those people are more lost than ever.